Hey there, me again. So, the Facebook algorithm did its job properly and it actually targeted me for some ads a couple of weeks back. It was telling me all about this London Lovecraft Festival. It must have known that I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft and his Cthulhu mythos and all these little demons that go with it. And Facebook was telling me about this London Lovecraft Festival, and it was my week off that week. The whole week is this London Lovecraft Festival. Basically, it's a series of little plays all going on at the same venue. It's not like a massive festival, lots of different venues or anything like that. Just a series of plays, basically. I think there's about probably 4 or 5 plays. But anyway, I was like, oh, it's my week off. But I was so busy that week. I had to go and visit my brother in Leicester. I went to see him in his pantomime. He did a pantomime of Aladdin, and he was Widow Tranky. My brother, who used to play bass in my death metal band Suffering, is now playing Widow Tranky in pantomimes. But that's good. He's having fun, and it was quite entertaining. So I saw me nephews and my brother. And it was my girlfriend's birthday as well on my week off. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to get to this thing. I'm not going to be able to get to it. And I thought, no, I really got to make an effort. Because if I missed any, obviously I can't go to every single show. But if I don't go to any of the shows, I'm going to feel really guilty. The fact that I've missed out on this first London Lovecraft Festival. So I managed to get on there, booked a ticket for the very last show on the Sunday evening, which was The Shadow over Innsmouth, which is obviously a classic of H.P. Lovecraft's work. But then I got a couple of little booklets and stuff that I picked up. So this was it, The Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft. I probably should do some close camera work for this, but I can't bother. I'm just going to tell you about it. I can show you up here. Yeah, so basically, Hidden Basement Productions presents an adaptation of The Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft. It was pretty good. But now, there's a little booklet came with it as well. Or maybe what I'll probably do, I'll take some pictures of this and scan it up onto the blog. So if you want to check out more information up close, I'll try and put this onto the blog. I actually did get a scanner, actually, because I keep saying put things on the blog and not getting around to it. But as you can see here, there's a couple of interesting. They had A Nightmare in Ashcroft, which I assume that's not a Lovecraft story, is it? I'm assuming it's based, in the loosely based on A Shadow over Innsmouth. So yeah, it was similarities. Then there was A Sight of Strange, which was a improvised kind of like weird tales based story. That would have been quite interesting. It looked like it might be quite fun. There was The Thing on the Doorstep. Pickman's Model was another little play that they did, and The Mountains of Madness. Apparently that was a gender-swapped Mountains of Madness. So it was a ladies doing an investigation. What's the word? An investigation. Expedition. An expedition to the Antarctic. And also there's something called The Dead Live. And also there was H.P. Lovebox, which was a Cthulhu-looking lounge singer. That would have been quite interesting, but I didn't manage to get along to that. But anyway, what I did get along to was this Shadow over Innsmouth. It's about an hour long. The actual venue was a place that I knew from before. It's in a pub called the Oxford Arms. Above the Oxford Arms, the venue is. I think it was called the... it should be written here somewhere. I can't remember what it's called now. What was the name of that venue? Something theatre. But basically it's a little theatre above the pub, the Oxford Arms pub in Camden High Street. I'll try and put the information of what the name of the thing was on the blog. And it was cool. It was a nice. I've been there before actually. Way back, there used to be a game on Facebook called Wrestler, and a few of us used to meet up there. So the London wrestlers and a couple of other people from elsewhere would meet up, and that was one of the venues that we met up at. Once we met up at the World's End, which is where I first met him for the flesh. My current girlfriend and fiance Lisa, and we also had a couple of meetups at the Oxford Arms as well. So I knew the venue already from those days. It's just kind of geeky as well, isn't it? Meeting your girlfriend and life partner on an online wrestling game. I think that's pretty geeky. Anyway, so yeah, it was at this theatre. I can't remember. It's really bugging me now. The name of that theatre. I should have written it. I'm actually doing this straight off the cuff. This review. I meant to look it up before I started, but no. Anyway. The Etc. Theatre, that was it. It was called the Etc. Theatre. Anyway, it was a good production. It was a nice little upstairs room. It was sold out, so it was quite pokey little theatre, but it was comfortable. It was like, even though it was full up, people weren't shoulder to shoulder. Mind you, I do think people look at me. They take one look at me and they decide not to sit next to me. It's a phenomenon I've noticed quite a lot. I'll be sitting on a bus with absolutely full up. People won't sit next to me. I was last person to have anyone sat next to me at the theatre. Every other row was filling up. Every other row was, apart from where I was sitting in the corner on my own. And eventually I was like, oh no, we have to go and sit next to him. You know why? I just think it's kind of got the Innsmouth look. If you look at my googly eyes, I've got the Innsmouth look. That's probably why I didn't want to sit next to me. But anyway, yeah. It was good. It was a fun little hour. It was only about an hour. It was interesting. At some points, I wouldn't say it was scary, but it was more serious, and it was quite sucked you in a bit. It was like, oh yes, and then the actors were pretty cool. There's only 2 people in it, and also a bit of puppetry in it as well, which is really strange. But it didn't feel silly or anything like that. I mean, suddenly a puppet comes out of old Zadok Allen came out, and I found myself looking at the puppet's lips as the lady was moving them around, and I was like taking in, and the performances are all good. But it was cool because like the one guy who had been to Innsmouth. He'd been there. On the old coach. He'd gone there and seen things which were playing on his mind. And the play was going backwards and forwards from him preparing to get married to his fiancée, and she would say talk to him. Then have a little flashback about what happened because he was supposed to be writing a book about his experience. And yeah, it was quite fun. There's a couple of fun bits. Could have been bordering on. You know, it depends on your frame of mind. I mean, a couple of thought, was that a bit silly? I thought, yeah, I don't care. It was fun. You know, it didn't really matter. It wasn't like completely straight laced, completely serious, but it was good. There's a couple of jump scares where his mind was in the past, but in the present, his girlfriend would approach him, his fiancée would approach him, pat him on the shoulder. I think they overdid that maybe a little bit too much, but definitely nothing to complain about. I wouldn't complain about any of it, so I enjoyed it thoroughly. It cost me a tenner. Yeah, I would quite like to have seen the same people doing it just as a straight kind of down the middle, like proper serious kind of adaptation. I thought that would have been cool. I'd like to see some serious Lovecraft, but I suppose people mating with fish people is kind of and there was a bit of a joke towards Lovecraft's well-documented racism as well, because the people say that his the shadow over Innsmouth is very much influenced by his fear of people from outside, you know, black people, whatever. They'd say he was someone said he was anti-Semitic, but I thought his wife was Jewish. But I mean, I think maybe he had those tendencies anyway. He was not a very I suppose nice man would be what I was saying. He wasn't a very worldly person, was he? Very xenophobic, I believe. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. Right, yeah, bloody good stuff. I really enjoyed what I saw of the London Lovecraft Festival. On Facebook today, they made a post up about it, and I was saying any chance, but I was asking if there's any chance if they do it again next year, there'll be like a week ticket, like where you can get like to every show. Because I'd like to check to every show. If they were all of the quality of the show that I saw 2 nights ago, now it is, then I would definitely like to check them all out. You know, money permitting. So yeah, and if you get a chance next year, it's only a small venue. Maybe next year if it catches on, maybe they'll go and branch out to other venues. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see a Lovecraft festival of the sort of scale that you get in Providence in America. Is it Rhode Island in America where he was born? There's a few Lovecraft festivals out in America. I'd like to see a nice, big Lovecraft festival here in the UK. That would be awesome, especially in London, of course. But yeah, that was it. That's all I've got to say. Good festival. Go and have a check out my blog. I'm going to take copies of these so you can see them on my blog. And yeah, bloody good stuff. Hopefully, London Lovecraft Festival will be back next week. Go and like their page next year. Go and like their page on Facebook so you can find out if there will be more things in the future. That would be bloody awesome. It'll be eldritchly good stuff.